You're watching Canadian Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. From Toronto, Ontario, I'm Catherine Bullock. Assalamu alaikum and greetings of peace. Today, a conversation with JUNAID SOHAIL about how his organization gives Zakat, or the obligatory charity, to poor people in Canada. But first, some news headlines. Canadian Armed Forces allegedly trains Ukrainian extremist body. Former NDP politician to take legal action against his party. Syrian high school student uses English skills to help other newcomers. Ethiopian Islamic body calls for probe into deadly attacks on Muslims in Gondar. And now the details. The Canadian Armed Forces, or CAF, might have trained soldiers associated with Ukraine's far-right extremist movement Azov, finds a CTV News investigation. Azov regiment leader Kirill Burkal posted on social media news of a cooperation with Canadian operatives in 2019. CAF states to CTV that their units are trained to recognize patches and symbols associated with right-wing extremism. They add that anyone suspected of holding such sentiments are removed immediately. In their view, it's up to Ukraine, not CAF, to vet its own security forces. The Canadian federal government has invested more than $890 million training the Ukrainian military under Operation Unifier. Former Ontario NDP politician Paul Miller says that he plans to take legal action against his party and its leader, Andrea Horwath, after he was allegedly falsely accused of harboring Islamophobic views. In March, Miller was booted from the NDP caucus for his alleged membership with the Worldwide Coalition Against Islam, an anti-Islam Facebook group. The four-time Member of Parliament says technical experts can prove he did not access his social media accounts, yet at least 12 staff members did have access. An NDP spokesperson reaffirmed that previous accusations of Islamophobic, homophobic, and racist views still stand. 7 years ago, Syrian refugee Nasser al-Nasser could not speak English. Now, the 12th grader in St. John's, Newfoundland, teaches English to other newcomers. Al-Nasser tells media sources that his family and he struggled during their time in a Jordanian refugee camp after they fled violence in Syria when he was 9 years old. It took him 2 years of dedication to master English. Al-Nasser attributes his success to his teacher, Mallory Cunningham, who used creative methods to teach him. He plans to complete a business degree at New Brunswick Community College and continue leading language classes for newcomers. The Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Supreme Council urged the government to probe attacks against Muslims in the northern city of Gondar and immediately bring perpetrators to the court of law. The president of the council, Haji Mufti Omar Idris, calls on Muslims and Christians to come together and expose the deeds of the criminals. Though the government has not confirmed the numbers, an eyewitness tells Anadolu Agency that the deadly attack 2 days ago killed at least 40 Muslims. A mosque was also torched and several Muslim businesses were destroyed. Over the past few decades, a number of religiously motivated attacks across Ethiopia have threatened religious coexistence. And that's it for the news. As we come towards the end of Ramadan, we are besieged by emails from charities requesting that we give them their zakat. Most zakat, we think, goes overseas, but there is an organization focused on giving zakat locally in Canada. To talk to us about that, we welcome to the show JUNAID SOHAIL, Program Manager from DAWANET. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
DAWANET is an umbrella organization with many projects, one of which is something called Canada Zakat. Can you tell us a little bit about why DAWANET decided to establish this program?
Well, Canada Zakat was launched by DAWANET almost a decade ago in 2013. And the purpose of the program was to address local need within the community, Muslims in need of financial assistance for various reasons, and to really look at our own backyards, or so to say, our own neighborhoods, and try and find solutions for our local problems, utilizing the resources available within the local community.
I know anecdotally amongst friends and others that they say there's no poverty in Canada, so we shouldn't give zakat locally. How do you deal with those kinds of comments?
Yeah, that is definitely something that we hear and we continue to hear all the time. There's this misconception amongst people that there is no need here, and even if there is, that it is met like reasonably through other resources that are available to us. But the reality is that that's not the case. There is there's a huge need within the local community, and the funds that are raised, there's an importance that the zakat be spent on those who are closest to us in terms of relation as well as geographically.
I probably should have done a little backtrack for those in the audience who aren't aware, but just tell us what zakat is.
Well, zakat is an essential pillar of Islam. It has to do with the collection of funds on a person's surplus wealth, and the funds are then utilized to address the needs of the Muslim community.
I saw on your website one of the statistics that the 4 poorest groups in the Greater Toronto area being defined through a Statistics Canada measure, which is called the low income cutoff, more than 50% living below that come from Somali, Afghan, Ethiopian, and Bangladesh communities. And most of these are Muslims, as you say. Do these kind of statistics surprise you?
Not at all. There has been an influx of people coming into the country, fleeing difficult situations in other countries, and unfortunately, as we know, world affairs, there's a lot of the issues are affecting Muslim countries, and so it's no surprise that people coming over to Canada are largely from Muslim backgrounds, and a lot of them come here with really not much at all, and are looking for opportunities and deserve the assistance, any assistance that the community can provide.
Maybe while you talk to us, it's a good idea if you don't touch the laptop or desk. It's shaking while you speak. To follow up from what you've just said, is that because of the issue of credentialization, that people come with credentials in professions that don't get recognized and therefore they find it difficult to get jobs, or Islamophobia, people with Muhammad who don't get hired?
There's a combination of reasons, but definitely, the lack of having credentials that meet local requirements or are accepted locally, as well as other reasons, including Islamophobia and the lack of local experience and the lack of knowing what the local requirements are. These are all barriers to people entering the workforce and at least right away. And language barriers are is a huge thing as well.
How do you distribute the zakat that you receive?
So we have an application process. People go to our website and they complete a detailed application explaining their situation, providing us with supporting documents to their needs, and then our team looks through those documents and makes an assessment on whether the applicant is in need, and if yes, how much assistance they require and for how long they will require the assistance. And then based on that, we make a decision. And generally, for the majority of the cases, it's a one-time disbursement. and it addresses various needs of the applicants.
So when you say one-time disbursement, is that like a one-time, like in the lifetime? They can apply once.
So, I mean, because of the sheer volume of applications, currently we've set a limit to an applicant only being eligible for assistance once in 2 years. So they are eligible to reapply after 2 years, but that's obviously depending on the resources available to us at the time of the application and the number of applications we have.
If I remember rightly, and you can correct me, there was a special food hamper program that you launched during the pandemic. Am I right?
That is correct. Canada's Zakat launched a special food program that assisted hundreds of families every single month, providing them with very like generous amounts and good high quality groceries on a bi-weekly basis. So that's right.
And does this mean that you're operating mostly in the GTA, or you have also offices in other parts of Canada?
So we don't have physical offices in other parts of Canada at this time. The food program is primarily focused in the GTA area, but the Canada's the financial assistance aspect of the program is available to people from all across Canada.
And the financial assistance, is it in the form of gift cards or money?
Right now, it's primarily in the form of actual monetary disbursements. So, funds are handed out directly, and it's not. In some cases, will resort to giving gift cards, but for most of the cases, it's actually funds that are being given out.
Do you have conversations at the office worrying about how people are going to spend the money, if they're going to waste it or use it wisely?
That's absolutely a concern with every application that we receive, and we have certain measures in place to try and mitigate that. One, for example, is that if we feel that a person will not be in the best position to or be able to make the best decision on how to spend money, we would give them gift cards, as you've touched upon, or we will pay a bill or an expense, an eligible expense for them directly.
And how do you collect the money?
The money is collected mostly through our online platforms, through our social media, as well as our website. And then we have fundraising events. We have a network of supporters who are committed to supporting the program because they realize the local need and the importance of what we do.
Well, we're out of time, but thank you very much for joining us and telling us about this program, Canada Zakat. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We hope you have a happy Eid and rest of Ramadan. Thank you for watching Canadian Muslim News. If you like what we do, please share, like, and subscribe. Stay safe and God bless.